Alright guys, I'm at the shop and I'm cutting up some barrels. We are making some pads for jack posts. So I got these steel barrels. I got my plasma cutter here. Power Max 45 XP. And we're just cutting the tops off and then basically taking the target saw and just zipping them into 3 pieces each one. So that's what we're up to. So this works pretty good for cutting the tops off. Alright guys, we are over here at the Fox Block project. Excuse me. Getting ready to pour this bad boy. We just been hustling around this morning. We had to put our beam pockets in. We had 8 of them. I'll show you what they look like. And we had to put all these jack post pads in. There's 12 jack post pads. So I showed you we cut them out of those 55 gallon steel barrels. We cut them with the plasma cutter this morning and the target saw, and then we got them all placed. We had to dig them all down. It was a pain. They're all over the place. There they are. I wanted to get them poured so that they can start their build, because we can work on the garage while they start building their house. I don't want to hold them up. That's why I want to get them pads in. These are the beam pockets here, guys. We use 2 rough cut 2x6s, and we put a piece of plywood on this side. Hopefully you can see that. And that holds it in place. I can see one over there too. So we screwed the plate into the Fox blocks, and then we screwed the plate into the 2x6s to hold it. Here's another view. So we got screws going into here and into the Fox blocks. That just holds this block of wood in there, and you can see it goes down like 9 inches. And then when we cast our concrete around that, it's going to leave a nice beam pocket. We'll rip this wood out like tomorrow or something. We have blocks in the corners here, guys. This is how we straighten the walls. We got these 2x blocks here, 1.5 inch blocks. There, that's better. Got these 1.5 inch blocks, and we'll just run a string line around this whole thing. And then we'll take a 1.5 inch block and we'll gauge it down through there, and we'll take the scaffolding or staging, whatever you want to call it, bracing. And it's got turnbuckles on it. Yeah, you can put that string line in. It's got turnbuckles on it, so we will adjust the turnbuckles to get the wall straight. We'll pull it in or push it out a little bit while the concrete's still green. We've spiked this down. I made some pins out of rebar with big washers welded to the ends of them. And we put 2 pins in each one of these, one at an angle like this, one at an angle like that. That's how we hold them in place. We got septic lines going through here. We got electric lines here and a cable line. We got a water line over here, goes under the footer. And there's another penetration over here. So that's all set. What's up? You waiting for something?
He's getting a string line.
Oh, all right. And that's it, guys. We're gonna get rolling here. Me, Big Biscuit, and Dustin, and Chris is coming. We gotta straighten that wall. You can see the little bump in it. Thanks. What's that?
Water.
Oh. I'll try to get some footage of us pouring this thing. We got the vibrator set up in the middle with a generator. There's a generator. There's a vibrator. We don't have any power over here, so we're gonna have to do that. I thought that was the mud. Mud should be here any minute. Oh, there goes our mud. Right by. Meow. Oh well, Sean drove right by. I don't have a cone out again. They were here before, but it wasn't Sean, so my bad. He'll figure it out. He's a smart dude. He just drove right by real slow. This thing is way back here off the road, so he probably didn't see us. All right, guys, mud's here. We're backing in. Sean's over there with the conveyor. We're gonna try to do this back wall over here first. I'm gonna try to get that here on, I'll put it on a time lapse for you. Like I said, we're gonna be vibrating it and magging it off. I'm gonna try to do it in one pour. It's only 3 courses high, so Sean's just getting everything stretched out here and we'll get ripping. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we are all the way down to there, all the way to there. Yeah, have fun. It's a son of a bitch. It's not easy.
It's going wicked slow. I was going to top that off, and then it came
Yeah,
out
it doesn't work that way.
You
Biscuits.
wouldn't be able to reach this stuff.
I know, it's too deep right there. It's another 10 inches deeper. Got biscuit running. I can hardly hold the thing anymore. It's shaking so bad it just hurts your fingers after a while. I get 2 hands on it though. I ain't gonna hold it with 1 hand. That's actually slower than it was.
Lower.
Oh, lower it. Slow it down.
Hardly reaching anything.
Gotta vibrate the wall, guys. Alright, guys, we got 1 truck empty. And this is how you have to do it. When you get 1 truck empty, you have to dump onto the conveyor with the second truck. So we put 10 yards in the wall. We got 5 more. So he's gonna dump on the conveyor with the other truck, the front loader. Goes right up, down in like that. That's how we do it. And then we gotta go from here to here. We've got everything else filled in. So that's what we're up to. Pulling up our tubes, little barrel pieces. A little bit more. So 1 more shot.
1 more.
Yep.
You guys sound like me talking about my last drink.
Listen to Dustin.
Make yourself sound bad.
Make it real pretty.
Yeah.
On camera, bud. Make us proud. Make your YouTube celebrity. Your YouTube fan. You're the celebrity. All your fans, make them proud. Ooh, yeah. Well, they work pretty darn good, I gotta say. Biscuit pulling them in. They work pretty good. Cheaper than sonotubes too. They're holding pretty good, huh? Okay.
I haven't seen them move.
We didn't even stake them. We just put some gravel around them.
Hey, grab the target saw if you're coming in. Target saw, we gotta cut them a little shorter.
A rebar. We got extra. Okay, we got extra. Yeah, right? They're all full. Yes, sir. We got to straighten our wall, put our anchor bolts in, mag these off. We got to throw some rebars in that are a little too long over here. We got all these rebars. We're going to cut them so they fit. They're just a little bit too long. We're going to put an X in there of rebar, sink it down in about halfway down. We are straightening the wall. I got Chris on one side here. He's on the turnbuckle, and you can tighten or loosen the turnbuckle, which pushes the wall out to this string line. We have blocks in the corners like that, and we got the string line on there tight. Slide the block in behind it. Push it out to me, Chris. A little bit more. Yep, right there. See how it goes right behind there, guys? That's how we do it. This one's good right there. Don't even touch it. Perfect. So when you look down that wall, she's laser straight. Back over here, you need to push this one to me about a quarter. And this wall will move for a couple hours after you pour it. I wouldn't wait too long, but keep coming. And it's easier to push the wall than to pull it in. A little bit more right there. Yep. That's how we do it, guys. Biscuit's cleaning the footer. All right, guys, we got our walls poured, everything straightened. Got our ties in here where they stick out for the next wall. And we got all our inside pads poured. Right there, 12 of them. Beam pockets are in, everything's poured there. Anchor bolts are in. And we're gonna head out of here. We got another job to go work on. We're doing a driveway, so we gotta do some forming on that. We got a lot of blocks over here. As you've probably seen in one of my videos, I got in trouble trying to haul blocks with Clifford over there. But we're out of here. Everything's good here. We're gonna go work on that driveway. It's 2 o'clock, so we got a couple more hours today. And today's Thursday. A couple more days this week. We're gonna pour some stuff on Saturday too, so we're out. All right, guys, I messed up over here. We put this beam pocket here, and it's supposed to be over here, because if you pull the dimension off the outside, that beam pocket is supposed to be 15 foot 1.5 or 11.5, and I made it 1.5 because I'm blind and I couldn't read the blueprint very good. So we are trying to move it over to here. Then we'll fill that full of concrete. Go ahead. We're just gonna tip it out of there and see if we can get it cleaned up. These pads got to be moved over 10 inches this way. Oh, look at that. They don't move too bad, do they? We'll have to. They're probably gonna be high if you just slide them like that. I'd tip it up, and. Well, let's see. They're wicked out of level. Yeah, we'll have to just tip it up and take a come along or something and flatten it out. Poured this yesterday, so it's kind of green still, so not too bad. A rebar right there, though. Got a rebar right there.
Of course, the rebar.
Of course. Let's get this cut out and fill that in with some concrete. Put a piece of foam in there. We take that grinder and just kind of dress that bottom off.
That's what I was going to do. I can get most of it probably with that.
Yeah.
Lower better than high?
Oh, yeah. Neither. We got to kind of get it really close. I guess within a half would be good if we can. We'll need the laser to reset them probably.
Set the laser, we'll subtract that. I can step back, subgrade right at where it needs to be. That will flop that back over.
Yep. A plastic thing here. I'll show you what this looks like when we're done, guys. Okay, guys, here's the fix. Putting our 2 blocks back in. Put a little piece of box block in there. There's a rebar in there, so that's gonna help tie it together. We're going to mix up a little concrete and just fill this in right there, and we're good to go. We're gonna put a piece of plywood over it to hold it in place. Language, I'm videoing. Jeekers. So yeah, we're gonna put the plywood on there. Go ahead. We got a screw.
Yep.
This is a family show.
Get somebody to hold. I got you.
Why don't you just go on the other side of the wood, right, like this, because that's sticking out, you know.
I got a screw.
I think that there'll be a screw in the bottom of it. Bring it right up to the top, right up to here.
I'm trying to get a little more bite into that web.
It ain't going nowhere. We're just gonna have a little bit of concrete in there. I don't think there'll be much pressure on it. That's how we're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna fill it in with concrete. That hole. My fault.
Do we have to move another one?
No, just these 2. How's the height?
I'm at the beam pocket.
The height's good. There's no beam pocket over here because that beam ends right there. It's just a load beam, so
I thought you said there was 2.
move these 2 over, move the beam over, 10 inches, and we're good to go. Easy fix. Less than an hour to fix it. Well, we still gotta concrete it, but no biggie. All right, guys, we are back over to the little Fox block job, and I'll show you a few things that we're doing. This is what we're doing with the concrete blocks. We're tying them into the Fox blocks. You can see over there where those beer cans are sticking out. We got rebar cast into the Fox blocks. And then over here, I'll have to climb down and show you, but we actually cut the webs out of the blocks and the rebar goes right into the block wall. And that's how we tie them 2 together. And then we're gonna core fill, and we'll fill this area back to about here, full of concrete. And then we got rebar down in the footer that we drilled down in, and we'll core fill that as well. So that is over here. You can see these bars sticking up right there, down into the footer. Corners up here. Try to show you how we do this over here. You can kind of see what I mean. We cut the cell out of the blocks all the way down in there. There's rebar. Oops. So when we fill this solid, like I said, that's gonna all get filled solid right in here, and those bars are cast into this wall when we poured this wall. So a super good tie-in right there. Here's this side of the wall, guys. You can see when these are cast in there. We got a hook on the end of these inside this wall. So that's how we tie them in. They're rock solid. You can't even budge them. So we gotta take a little notch out of the first block. Or the second block, I should say. First block's gonna be here, and then the second block will have a notch out of it right up to there. This wall is gonna run flush right down to that corner right there. This thing's 7 courses high, and that's how we're doing her. That is how we are doing it, guys. Hopefully we can get this done soon. Wrap this project up. Alright guys, I'll show you a few things while I'm waiting for Biscuit to make up a batch of mortar. Way we set up our block jobs is on these stem walls. We like to have the blocks in here on the bank like this. We lay them all out before we even get started. And you like to have 2 or 3 mortar pans down your wall. So we stick one here, I got one there and one there. Obviously Biscuit's making up some mortar. We're gonna put it in these pans. And then I like to run a bunch of mortar down the wall on the bed joint, this is the bed joint, this part right here. The head joint is actually these here. That's the difference between the bed and the head joint. These blocks have a top and bottom to them. If you look, this is wider right here. It's got a little taper to it. It tapers in. And then if you flip the block over, you can see it's narrower. It's got this casting line in it. So that casting line, usually you want to go down, unless you're trying to build a wall up, and you can lay them upside down. But that kind of gives you, this block here, gives you kind of a handle to grab onto right where that wide point is. But this top is wider than the bottom. You can see the difference once you get used to it. That's the bottom, top. So we lay them all bottom down so we can just grab the block like this, spin and lay it right in the wall. You don't want your blocks too close, because then you don't have no room to work. You don't want them too far away where you got to reach way out to grab them like that. That's kind of how we set things up. Most of the time we work on the inside of here. So when you're digging these, you need to have enough room to work. You can see how wide this is dug. You want to have enough room on the inside to work, to stand. You got to be able to stand in here to lay your block. So if you're digging yourself a foundation or a stem wall, you want to make sure they dig it wide enough. Another thing is, I like to have this wide enough to get a tamper down in there, because if they dig this too tight, you can't get a tamper down in here to tamp this up, because this whole inside is going to get filled up with gravel up to this height right here. So we want to be able to get a tamper down through there. This is really marginal right here, but you can take a shovel and kind of chip away at that edge as you're filling it in and tamp it. That's how we set ourselves up. I'll try to get a little bit of footage laying this thing out. Right now it's just me and Biscuit, but we got the other guys on a couple other jobs today. We divide and conquer today. But I'm hoping to get this wall completely built, and hopefully a lot of these blocks in, and then I gotta go get more blocks. So Biscuit's almost done with my mud. All right, guys, we're going to do some block laying today, me and Biscuit. So I'm going to show you a few things. I just told you how we laid out our blocks down through here. Got 3 mud pans full of mud. This is how you want your mud. Basically, you want your mud so when you pat it like that, it'll flatten out. If you grab a scoop like that and you shake it, you want it to be able to shake down on your trowel. So I like to grab it, pat it, shake it down like that. That's the move right there. So pat, grab it, shake it down once. That's about how much mud you want on your trowel. For me anyways. A couple shakes sometimes. You gotta miss this thing with your trowel. If you hit it there, that's what'll happen. You wanna just miss it. Like that. And this is called the bed joint. said earlier. I like to go down the bed joint, out for them rebars. Put down the bed joint on one side, get it all laid out. Maybe 10 feet, 10, 12 feet. If it's really kind of wet mortar, you can go further and it'll dry for you. So now, same thing I like to do, keep the mud on this same side of the trowel. But when you do this side here, you gotta kind of rotate your wrist. You gotta like let the trowel, almost let it go so it spins without dropping the mortar. So it's like that. You could take it like this, spin your wrist like that. It's a totally different move than that side, but it's kind of like muscle memory. So you see I'm just taking my fingertips and I'm rotating the trowel. So I'm scooping up, take it down, and you watch me, I'm tilting it like that with my fingertips. And then dropping it down. Once you get good at it, it's just like, you can kind of do it behind you. You don't even have to go back there, you can do it right from here. You just extend your arm out like that. We talked about where the mortar pan is. You want to be able to reach it. You don't want the mortar pan too high, so you're up here like this trying to get the mortar. You don't want it too low, so you're bending over. Got to keep your movements, make your movements count. So the bed joint's in up to there. Now there's several different ways to do the head joint on blocks. So if you're a beginner, or if it's your first block right here, I like to do it down here because I don't want to knock that line holder off right there. So I'm just going to set the block there and hit it like that. It's almost the same move as the bed joint. Sometimes you can just hit them heads like that. That'll keep it to stick, and you can back butter the inside, which just makes the mortar stay on there. Grab it like this. This is the bottom, like I showed you. Top's got that little handle on it. Set it right in nice and gentle. Right to your string line. As you're laying it, you're watching here and the outside. You're making sure they're flush. Just give it a little tap. I like to scrape it off. I like to fill that top real quick. Boom, boom, like that. That block's laid. Now, so that's one move. Another move is, if I'm going to hit the left side of the block, I want the mud on the left side of my trowel. I'm going to take my wrist and I'm just going to, you want the tip of your trowel to miss that corner right there. And it'll go right on there like that. So now, I'm going to hit the right side, put the mud on the right side of your trowel like that. So we had the left, now it's on the right. Same thing, the tip of my trowel's got to miss that block right there. Boom. You can do this if you want. If it looks like it's gonna fall. That's generally when you get more advanced, that's kind of how you do it. Shake it in like that. I'm not really pushing very hard. This block is kind of just dropping right in place like that. Only thing is we forgot our cut, so we gotta take that block out. We got a cut in this wall, guys.
Right there.
Yeah, there's your cut. So now I just screwed that up, so I'm going to put a little mud on the bottom so that this block doesn't sink, because we just messed up our deal here. So you can do this with small pieces too. Get some mud like that, hit it like that, back butter it, top and butter it like that. Kind of keeps the mud on there like that. You got your bottom piece, top piece. You can just set it right in there. That's another way to do it. So now the mud's already on there. I ain't even gonna push that piece down, because just like that, it's gonna want to fall. Not much holding it. And we can go right back to our block that we laid before, that we weren't quite ready for. Again, I'm looking at the edges here. I'm not using a level. You can also feel it when you rub your trowel down. That trowel should be even. You don't want a lip there. You can kind of gently fill them head joints. Scrape the back of the wall. I like to do that every time. Throw it back in the pan. Now I'm just going to lay blocks. I'm not going to talk anymore. I showed you how to do it. This. Strike one. Grab shit. And you can adjust your blocks where your mortar joints are according to how much mud you put on the ends of your blocks. So if I want to, right here I'm a little behind. See that line? It's a little bit behind, so I made the ends a little bit fatter this time. So now I can kind of make up for that space. I can just let that mortar joint be a little bit bigger than the one behind it. I'm going to do that until I catch up. I'm still behind. I can catch up just by doing that. Same thing if you're too far ahead, you can thin them out a little bit so you can catch up. Basically that cut piece could have been a touch longer and we wouldn't have had that. Left side, right side, fat mortar on there. You guys are probably wondering why we did blocks over here and we did ICF over there. Over there is a crawl space. So that's going to be heated space. Underneath there, conditioned space. So it's all insulated. It's a stronger wall. This over here is going to have dirt on both sides of the blocks. Dirt. This is all getting buried. So as far as cost is concerned, this is much more cost effective to do these stem walls like this if you got time. There's a lot more labor involved. So you got to kind of weigh that out. And then you'll know what's the best for each project. So for this project, we basically knew what we could get for the job. So I decided to do the ICF on that part, which is a good place to do it, and then do the blocks on this stem wall. This makes a nice little hammer to knock the block down and get it where you want it. This block was sitting kind of like this, which basically left a lip on this side, and then you just tap it down until your saw runs flat and there's no lip there. We even got Rotor here helping, right, Bub? You're soaked. Look at you, he's soaked.
Chasing birds through the grass.
Chasing rabbits, chasing birds. He loves it over here at Logan. Now I'm kind of moving to the next mud pan, guys. I'm pretty much caught up to my bed joint. Just gonna rock it down through. And you can put more or less mud on the bottom of your bed joint depending on how high you need to come up. Most of these joints are about 3/8 inches thick to a half. But say you need to build up a wall, you can put more mud on like that and just put a lot more mud on the bottom. And you can actually you can gain height. But these are pretty good. Our height's pretty good. You don't want any pieces like that. They're gonna get in your way. This mortar was laid the other day, so you don't want that in there. We're just getting started today. Same thing, I'm rotating my wrist here. Got out there a little ways. Same side of the trowel for me. Still tipping like this. It's on the fingers. You're actually taking your finger, loosening up your hand and just, you're not holding the trowel very tight. That's that. And we're gonna try to make a kind of a little fatter joint on these, just to try to catch up here. catching up very quick. Probably the ones underneath it are pretty fat too. Not catching up very fast on these motor joints. Head joints.
You gonna get to work, mister? You gonna get to work?
He ain't much of a worker. A rotor. Rotor's not much of a worker. He's just a mascot. He's here for support. He's our masonry support dog. Hey, Ro, you're the masonry support dog. Okay, so see that ledge right there, guys? Watch this. See it? That's what you don't want. So what the problem is right there is the block is sitting like this. So I need to tap this down, bump it over to the string line until that's gone. See how it's gone now? Nice and flush. That's what you want. That's how you know she's pretty good for level. Don't need to stick a level. You can stick a little torpedo level on there when you're just getting started so that you know that you're good. Once you get advanced, you won't need to do that anymore. Oh, I'm caught up finally, I think. Yeah, I finally caught up to that motor joint right there by fattening these head joints. So now that I'm caught up, I can just make them the same as the ones below it. Oh yeah, I got another move I can show you. Okay, one more move. Not too good at this one, 'cause I don't use it that often. But it's got a little more on it. You can take some mud on your trowel like this, and you can, if you like to do so, you can get over there. You can kind of see. You gotta kind of like put some mud on there like that and scrape your trowel like that. You can actually do that. That's another way to do it. Depending on what direction you're working in. That's just another way to do it. I'll show you that again in a second. I don't usually use that move too much, but where that move works good, guys, is when your block's up here. Say you're laying your 6th course and you're trying to throw the mud up here in your shoulder. You got a bad shoulder like me, you're trying to short the mud. You can kind of just back butter it like that, because figure the block way up here. You know, and you just take your mud and you're just back buttering it like this. So you just go. And each time you're kind of tilting your trowel a little bit more. Then you just smack that top. You can even do this, and that'll stay right there for you. That's the way to, as you get up the wall higher. But that's just another move. You can pick these different moves and use them as you want. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You might even have a better way than me, I'm sure. But that's it. Oh, I'll show you one more thing. Come over here. This is at the end of your wall. Another move. You can put the mud on the left side of your trowel and just kind of hit it behind you like that. So I back buttered it, top buttered it. Then you put it on the right side of your trowel. I don't like it when that's there, but didn't work. If that stupid line wasn't there, it would work better.
That's where that feathering trick works good too.
Yeah, you can do the feathering trick, yeah. And then just butter it up like that. But if that's not there, you can just right in. Say you're up here with that lint string, you can just you can hit them behind. So if I was laying right to left, I would use that back move a lot. Sometimes you lay from the left to the right, which I like to do more than anything. But if you're working from the right to the left, you can back hit these right there, that one there, every time. Just boom, 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 right down the line. And you can hit this one like that and set your block in like that and work from right to left. That's it for now. Here comes the mud, guys. Sean's backing in with the conveyor. We are going to be core filling. Oh, there's a barrel there. We just missed the barrels. Thought he hit that barrel. Anyways, we're pulling in. Sean's pulling in with Circle T with the conveyor. We have a couple yards on there. We're going to core fill our block wall. I got to throw some rebar in there, and we're going to fill the cells up. Jason got them all marked for me, and then we got to put anchor bolts in. So, like I said, it's only a couple yards, but it's going to be a lot nicer with this conveyor truck. This is Circle T Concrete Division. That's Sean right there, the driver. Nice hoodie, bud. I like the hoodie. Look at that. Look at the back of that hoodie. 315-963-2231, Circle T. There's their credentials. Actually, Sean beat everybody but me here. So the boys got to get here so we can get this done. It is about 10 to 7. We're gonna start back here, guys. We got our rebar laying on the ground there. I'm gonna be sticking them in and just filling the cells up. It's starting to rain here. We're doing this first because we got some stamped concrete to do at 10 o'clock. Rain's supposed to blow over, so that's the game plan. He's stretching that boom out. That's how it works. Comes right off the back of the truck and shoots right into it. It's all remote controlled, but you can get all the way to the back. Save us a lot of work. Hey guys, we're over here parging this ICF wall. So what we do, we put the mesh in like that, put a little scratch coat on, and we trowel that mesh right in there. This is the mesh. It kind of looks like a screen product. I don't know what that stuff's made out of. Almost like little tiny ropes all weaved together, but it ties everything in.
Whatever it is, it's strong.
Yeah, it's wicked strong. You can see it through the parge. Yeah, you can't rip it. So we put that on. Like I said, we put a little bit in there, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Put it on there and then trowel it off. And this is all done, but we need one more coat on there. So basically, because you can see the mesh with one coat. So we always do 2 coats. Put it on there, let it tack up, and then we'll go right back over it. So first thing we did was do the whole ICF with the screen. And now we are going to make up another batch here. Gopher's got a bag of that stuff. This is basically insulated concrete form stuff. It's just for ICFs. Or it's called Drive It. You can do all kinds of styrofoam with it. Sometimes they call it prep coat. I'll see if there's any markings on it. Yeah, just a little bit of markings here.
It's right on the end of it.
Oh, okay. Right here. Oh yeah, let me flip it over for you. This is what it is. New base. There's different brands of this stuff. This is a 50-pound bag, I'll tell you. 2 bags. We did this whole thing this tall. So what they're gonna do here, the house that this is we're doing this for, he has a spray foam company, Kyle and Son Spray Foam, and this is Logan's house. He's the son of Kyle and Son. So he's gonna spray foam down here, right over his footer, right out onto the stone. So that's gonna seal all this. He's gonna use the spray foam for a seal. And we got blocks on the other side. We used a different product to do the concrete blocks over here. I'll show you that, what we did over here. Concrete blocks take a different kind of parge, and that parge has fiberglass in it, so you don't need the mesh coat. You can see we parged just like a block and a half down on the concrete wall. And this is what we use. It's called Foundation Coat by Comproco. It's a reinforced fiberglass reinforced cement-based waterproof coating for positive side below grade applications. So we did just what you see there, and he's gonna spray foam that too, so just to keep the water out of that. So he'll spray foam down, and then there's a perimeter drain around this thing, so water won't be an issue. It'll just run out the daylight out the end over there. There's a daylight drain. You've probably seen that in the other videos. But that's how we're doing it. We're just gonna put one more coat on this ICF, and we're gonna be done over here. We gotta clean up. But I'll show you the whole job when we're done here in a little bit. I gotta get parging so we can get done. It's Friday morning. Well, it's almost afternoon now. We started in the morning. Started this morning at 8, and we got all that done, the block part, and now we're working on the ICF part. And you're not gonna even see all this. You're only gonna see about that much. It's gonna have a wood cap on. It's just a crawl space. They didn't want a basement. It's wet over here, so they didn't want to get down into the water table. And that garage gets all filled in. There's gonna be a floorboard that's gonna all be filled with gravel and tamped and brought up in lifts. All right, guys, here's our repair on the beam pocket. You can see we patched in that concrete, so that'll work good for them. Got a little parge on there, but yeah, it was here, and we just moved it over to here, and then we moved these pads over, so everything lines up now. There's a bunch of these pads. They were a pain, but we got it fixed up. I'll show you what the rest of it looks like. We're just picking up now. We're done over here, so I'll show you what everything came out to look like. All right, guys, I'm up on top of the wall showing you what she looks like. This is the finished product. He's ready to, he can build his house now. All his beam pockets are in. We got that one we screwed up, we fixed that. Everything's parged. He is going to spray foam down below his parge, and he's going to do his own backfill. I talked to him on how to do it, proper way to do it in lifts, you know, every 8 inches or so. So that's what he's gonna do. So it's Friday, it's about 1 o'clock. We're gonna take the tools and stuff home. We got one more little job to do today, and then we're gonna call it a day, but you can kind of see where our parge is. We just parged what you're gonna see a little bit below grade, and like I said, he's gonna spray foam right against our parge right down. That's his waterproofing. It's gonna be closed cell spray foam. Same thing in this garage. He's gonna wanna spray this garage down along right over the footer, and then backfill, and everything drains out right to there. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're not, and leave me a comment, please. Thanks. See you on the next one.